Okay, so we've finished making all the components, loaded up the old ute. We're going to head out now to site and put this veggie patch together. So I'm going to jump in the truck and I'll see you there. So here we are now, we're on site. You can see we've got an area here that Peter and Linda, the owners here, have already prepared for us. Just before we get into actually starting to put the veggie patch together, we might just have a little bit of a chat about where you might locate your veggie patch. You can see here, firstly, you don't want to be too far from the house. The further you are from the house, the less chance you're going to have of getting into the veggie patch regularly. So it's nice to be as close as possible to the house. One of the reasons that we've gone to the effort of making this whole structure look so nice is that you can actually put it near your house and it'll be visually appealing, so you know it's not going to be an eyesore. So that's first thing, near the house. Second thing, you want to be conscious of your prevailing winds. In this case, our wind comes from the west, and we've got some trees here which are going to protect us from that. Normally in Australia, we have wind from the west and the south, so that's your main, or certainly on the east coast, you have wind from the west and the south, so they're the two sides you want to protect from. We also then want, our northern sun comes in from this angle, so you want to make sure you get plenty of sun in there. So they're probably the three major factors that you need to take into consideration when you're actually locating the patch. So what we're going to do today is firstly set out the veggie patch. Like I said before, the one we're building today is a hexagonal 6-bay version. There's also an 8-bay version. And remember that you can get those plans for both of them on the Strong Build website. So first process, we're going to set that out, and then I'll just take you through the major steps in putting the structure together. All right, so now it's time to set out the veggie patch. As I said before, this particular design is based on a hexagon. First thing we've got to do is locate the centre, and what I've done here is I've driven a peg in, put a nail right in the middle. Now keep that peg down fairly low because we're going to leave that there through the construction process so we can come back at any stage and reference that point. The next thing I've done is I've pulled a string line out, and that's going to be one of the bays, so one of the sides of the veggie bay, and so that's where you can see that string running out there. Now the next thing we've got to do is we've got to set out a hexagon. I don't know how much of your high school geometry you remember, but hexagons are actually pretty simple to set out because the radius of the hexagon is the same as each side. So the 6 sides are all the same as the radius. In this case, our inner hexagon has a 1200 radius, so each side is also 1200. And then when we go to the outer one, it will be 4200. And of course, that's if you're working in metric. If you're working imperial, then you've got to use the imperial measurements. So to set that out, what I've done is I've measured 1200 from the centre out here, and I've put a pin in at 1200. I can then hook over that pin and measure back in this direction 1200, and then check from the centre back out to there that that's also 1200, and keep adjusting that until it works. Then once we've done that, we do the next segment, the next segment, the next segment, and obviously check that the last segment is the same size as all the rest of them. If it's not, you can then go back and do some minor adjustments to make it work. In our case this morning, it worked spot on. So there might have been a bit of luck in that, but you know, you never know. Maybe it was good management. Once you've done the centre hexagon, then we move and we'll do the outer hexagon. Once all those little pins are in place, I'm just going to use a bit of mark out paint to just mark where they are. Firstly, so I don't trip over them while I'm digging the holes, and secondly, just to obviously make them a bit clearer so I don't lose them. So I'm going to go away now. I'm going to dig some holes, and I'll come back to you in a minute when I've done all the hard work. All right, that's all the holes finished now. Just before we go on to the next thing, I might just show you the device I'm using to dig the holes. This is called a clamshell shovel or a post hole shovel. It's got two handles, and when you open them like that, grabs the dirt, let go, drops the dirt. Good device for digging holes like this. You can use an auger or a number of other devices, but this is what I normally use when I've got to dig holes for posts. What we're going to do next is we're going to start putting the posts up. So I'll just get a bit of gear out and then we'll have a look at that.